Hey, what is up, dudes and dudettes? This is Doodle here, and today we're gonna talk about 3 topics on MMAT, right? The first one is about fake news. So, shout out to our Discord members. Yesterday, they spotted this tweet about metamaterials and saying, you can sell your divi share for $7 a share. And, if you do the math here, it's something pretty funny. If you can sell $7 per share of divi, that means, what literally means is they sell their asset for $1.4 billion. And this number is impossible with the current oil outlook. And the current oil outlook isn't going so well due to the alpha, beta, delta, gamma, epsilon, delta variant. I mean, delta, epsilon, COVID variant, right? So you won't see that number. And the rumor of the 3.2 billion oil reserve in there. Before confirmation, also not calculable. So even if they have 3.2 billion, oil reserve in there, which accounts for, I think, a single digit of the United States' entire oil reserve, by the way. So pretty interesting. Let's just say Breda decided to claim that, and so this number is just unrealistic. But again, like if you believe in that, hey, good for you. Just go transfer to Fidelity and see if you can sell it. We haven't tried it in our Discord. Maybe we should let I don't know, let Crazy Eddie do it, or someone just transfer for shits and giggles, right? So I mean, right after this in Discord, we actually had a very enticing and interesting conversation. So this offer still stands, by the way. So me and 2 of my Patreon member and other Discord member, we're saying that if you want our dividends, sure, we will sell you at $5 per dividend share. And every 20 share dividend you buy from us, we will match you with 1 share of metamaterial. And one person can only buy, let's just say, 2K tops dividend shares. Okay, this offer still stands on the outer internet. If you want our divi shares, this is our price. I mean, again, if you believe in this news, it's $7 per share, and according to George's tweet, it's nominal $1, right? It's nominally $1 per share for your divi. Then hey, like you will still make $2 if the $7 thing is true, right? So yeah, I think it's a pretty good deal. We're giving it to you guys at least at a 25% discount, right? You may guarantee $2 if this is true, right? Alright, all jokes aside, again, I mean, that's not a joke, by the way. If you guys want to buy our divi share, sure, why not? Like, we'll sell it for $5, right? And yeah, you gotta have the eyes of spotting what is right or wrong, or you have to sort of form your own, understanding of what right and wrong, especially in an internet age. Like, especially a lot of you like just be on StockWits and on Twitter. I mean, not everything Twitter says is right, and let's just say around 5% of the time Twitter is right. And today, again, sorry, we're talking about MRIN in Patreon. So if you guys are curious what we talk about and what I post daily on Patreon about a lot of those day trade moves or swing trade moves or long-term investment moves, go click our Patreon and join. I think we're setting at the early access at $10 for the first 25 members. We might even lower that to 20 or maybe 15. Consider the demand is increasing as we speak right now, because just last night we talked in our Patreon exclusive chat. We talked about AMC, and right after I sent that Patreon message in the morning, I'm pretty sure you already made about 1% on the AMC play that I posted, and there's some other play including MRN play I posted it a day or 2 ago. MRIN, did I post this one? Maybe or maybe not, but I did make 10% on this one. And I talk about how do you pivot HMLP using option to hedge your risk, basically to mitigate your loss. And I talk about how I added up a little bit on AI, and there are some other plays on SPY in general. and today, again, my prediction holds, right? MM is gonna try to squash it down under the $3 mark, and as we speak, it functions the same, right? And then if they want to really do you dirty, probably gonna close it at 2.99 just for shits and giggles, right? I mean, again, everything we see on these channels are for shits and giggles. We are not financial advisors, therefore we do not give financial advices. But again, like a lot of predictions are coming true, right? I mean, 99% of the prediction we do on this channel comes true. And you know, you don't need to be a sane man to see the trending down motion. And we talk about them on Patreon, and we evaluate them, and we sort of give you important charting lessons and trading lessons on Patreon too. So if you guys just interested in what kind of Patreon content we're really pushing out here, this is just a tiny little small peek of what we do on Patreon, and we're gonna show you the clip. Hey guys, just a quick, you know, a charting lesson, or you call that, not really a lesson, it's more like, you know, a discussion of how do I know that, you know, it's trending towards it's trending downwards. I mean, at this point we all know we just don't really wanna you know, admit it. So if you look at the big rip day here, right, like the ripping upwards and everybody's so happy, and Coney number 2, he says Sterling is like super happy and be like, oh, it's gonna be green days ahead or whatever. But if you think about this, right, if you think about this, that means around this much of volume only yields you a 0.1/3. This is bad. This is bad. That means the future momentum when you know, let's just say Monday, when you're trying to trend up over here, right, and then it goes up, it cannot go up by that high anymore. You see, it will only go up about like 3.05, or I mean, the best case scenario is around 3.11. That's the best case scenario going up, unless there's some, you know, George is desperate enough to do something or manipulate the stock again, right? And then we call this a stepping down here. And then where's the last step up? It's right here. See, it's step up. At the end, what is funny about MMAT is it's step up like in proportion. Like this proportion is always the same. Like unless you have a this is just funny. Wait a second. Like that, right? And then the next one is actually over here. You see, the proportions are almost the same. The proportions are almost the same. Which now I think back, it's kind of stupid of me of not sort of you know, sold it earlier. I think it's just a part of me is actually delusional. The part of me that's Jimmy that's delusional. But again, like the part of me that's Jimmy is serving as a hedging instrument for me right now. So I will leave Jimmy's 1/3 of his holding, whatever he's gonna do with it, right? So Bobby just is gonna trade his options, and eventually he's gonna have a cost basis of, I don't know, $1 for this stock. Whatever spread that he's doing, you know, sometimes he sell off all of the shares and whatever, right? Some high quality, you know, just trading technology that it's just dark and Wall Street oriented. And then I'm sort of testing out this method that I'm reading from Richard Dennis on The Way of the Turtles. If any of you guys know that. And as far as this trading lesson goes, I just want you guys to know that, you know, the big rip up, every time when you take the midpoint of the big rip up and you take the 75% point of the big rip up, it's sort of, and then you sort of like, you want to see what price line that is. And when you look at the price line over there, you see that right here, when we chart it, the price line is down $3. So when it's around $3, you'll be like, oh, it's probably going to trend around $3. So how do you confirm it? You go to the option chain, right? You go to the option chain and look at option movement. And yeah, like right after you rip up there, you see the $3 option just go rip up again. Like the $3 option price just ripped up a lot. That means the IV goes up, the entire pricing model of $3 goes up, right? That's just backshore equation. I will make a video in depth about it, either on here or on YouTube. On YouTube, it's probably going to be a simple version. On here, I'm going to do a very in-depth version. So the IV will go up. When IV go up, the price of the option go up. So then what the market maker or the shorts is going to be thinking is like, oh my god, like these guys FOMO again. When you FOMO again, they're trying to squash you down. So what would be the most logical thing to do? They'll be like, oh, I will just squash it down, like what would even like hit you the morale the worst? I would just stabilize the stock around 2.99, and by the time of option expiration, you're only 1 cent away from being able to exercise. Okay, this is their play, okay? But right now you have retail selling anyways. So when retail selling and then, you know, everybody is just not back holding, and then you will just see another, you know, a pretty bad step down again. And next week we probably see another step down over here, right? This is why, like a week ago, I've already predicted it's going to be 2.83, right? There's a reason for this. And then right now, what I'm thinking right now is, okay, so November option chain is now priced out. that means the market knows that there's going to be something fishy, something either good or bad happening on November. That's why market maker doesn't really want to hedge it right now. So if the market knows that, I should know that. So from right now, from August to November, you have a vacuum zone, and within that vacuum zone, because the stock has been ripping down so much, there has to be a sort of like a going up point where we can capitalize by just selling at that point. But the timing is just so hard to control. It's probably way better to just sell it right now and just be done with it and put it in some big cap stock that it's actually safe. I mean, again, right now we're moving into a loss prevention market instead of a gaining market, right? So back to the charting lesson. So if you learned calculus, you will know that this is when on a peak of here, the local max, or in here is the little local max is when f prime of x equals to 0. When f prime of x equals to 0, what you have to think about is, when is the next time that it's going to reach this point? Is this a local max or potential local minimum where it will just go this and go up, right? I mean, this is a periodic local max and this is the local min, right? And then if you look at the f prime of x, what equals to 0, it's just this point when the general trend of the slope from going up to going up, right? So in here, how can we apply calculus to charting? So if you're going over here, if you can see this line, concave, up and down, up and down. If you chart this, the f prime of x of this point is over here. Right? So then what you were thinking here is like, okay, the next time when it reaches this point, maybe I will just build up a little small position, which is right here. See, you cannot always predict where the local minimum is, but you can always predict like when the f prime of x of f prime of x equals to 0, you can build a little small position here. And what you can do is, this is literally like bits and bits trading, right? And then you build a little position and it goes down again. You're like, nah, I'll just wait it out a little bit because this is only like a couple of cents round, right? And then you see a sort of like a volume build up, and then what you will do, you will add a little bit here, and bang, it goes up, right? And you sell over here. This is day trading lesson here, okay? And then, but it still doesn't, revert, or it still doesn't reverse the general trend. If you look at the general trend, by the time it's a near 3.75, it already sends out to you signal that, hey, like it's not gonna trend up over there because we have major volume resistance there. So you can see, as using this method I told you here, the 75 percent point of the major rip up and the 50% point of a major rip up. You see this? You can't keep it up in this range, you're effed. Right? Same thing happened to AMC too. So again, for today's future, what we really want to see, or it will be really funny, is it closed at 2.99. But it probably won't do because the entire market is ripping down. Or more like this entire sector is ripping down. Or just when people watch our video and realize that there's no revenue potential in the future, it's just going to keep rip down. But you have a pretty much solid, a support line at 2.9. But at the same time, like when it sort of stabilizes at 2.9, that also means that, later in the market, when a lot of FOMO people or just like people picking up rest scrumps, they're going to rip it up a little bit and it's going to rip down again. And again, when it can stabilize at 2.91, that means the actual resistance line is around 2.88. Good? If you have any questions, or I go too fast, or you need any clarification, just let me know in the comments.